Hi guys, it's Little Kansas Kitty and I welcome you back to my channel. For those of you that are brand new, warmest welcome. This is my weight loss surgery channel where I talk all things weight loss pretty much post-op. And for those of you that are return subscribers, thank you so much for returning and continuing to ride along with this journey. So I had the RNY gastric bypass surgery on June 25th. 2018. So this marks my 32-week post-op update. I goofed a little. Last week I came to you with my 30-week update and I was actually 31 weeks because I was looking back at the history of my videos and I actually had two 27-week post-op updates. I don't know what happened. I was just loving the number 27. My birthday's on the 27th of March. I must have just been loving that number. Regardless, we're here. This is my 32-week post-op update. I started off my journey at a high weight of 238 pounds. I'm 5'6". I'm 38 years old. And last week I came to you for the third week in a row and I weighed 147. This week I come to you and I weigh 145, so that's a 2-pound loss in the last week, and that brings me down a grand total of 93 pounds. 93 pounds, so I am just 7 pounds away from my ultimate goal of reaching 100 pounds down, and that's a personal goal I gave myself. My surgeon's office is very happy with my weight, where I am. I'm at a normal, healthy BMI, and that's all they wanted for me, is to get to a healthy weight. For me, I had that goal of losing 100 pounds. I'm 7 pounds away, but when I do reach 138 pounds, I'm giving myself a 7-pound wiggle room, which takes me from 138 to 145, and I'm there. I'm at 145, so I am at my high range of my maintenance range. So I'm really, really excited to hit that 145, and it was dead on, 145.0 this morning. I did a DietBet last month, and it was Voodoo Queen. She has a YouTube channel too. It was her DietBet that she put together, and there were 24 contestants that were playing in the game, and we weighed, I want to say 24, I'm pretty sure on that, and we waged $50, so $50 of our own money at the beginning of the month that we would lose 4% of our body weight. And I kind of lucked out because my weight was fluctuating a little bit at the beginning of the month, and I was actually up a little bit. I think I was at like 151 or something like that. And I needed to lose 4% and get to 145.6 by the end of January. And this week I was like, oh my gosh, I want my $50 back. I really want my $50 back that I put in. And even though I wasn't trying really, really hard this month, I was pretty close. You know, I was at 147 over and over again, and I needed to get to 145.6. And we had 2 days that we could weigh in, and so we could either submit our weight on January 31st or February 1st. And I get on the scale on January 31st in the morning, and I am like 147, same place that I've been. And I hadn't gone on my run yet, and so I was like, okay, well, let me just get my run in and see what happens. And typically my weight is lower after my run. I always use my morning weight before my run because after my run I'm a little dehydrated, you know, and just have sweat out quite a bit. So I returned from my run and I get on the scale and I am 145.7. I needed to be 145.6, and I was like, no, what do I do? I can't drink. I can't take a drink of water right now. Like, I am going to get the scale to read 145.6. And so I was like, I kept getting back on the scale and it's still 145.7, 145.7. It's like, what do? I want to submit my weight today. I want my $50 back. And so I go to the bathroom, and I'd already gone, like, there wasn't anything really coming out, and I was like, one little tinkle. One little tinkle comes out. And I get back on the scale and voila, I'm 145.3. I was like, what? Take a picture, take a picture. I was trying to take a picture really quick so I could submit my weight. I got it. I made it. I got my picture in. It was verified. And I was a winner of the DietBet, my own personal, winner of this. So in the end, I think there were 24 of us, 12. So about half of us did meet that goal of losing 4% of our weight. There was $1,200 in the pot because we each waged $50. DietBet's fees were pretty high. They took out like $300 of that, 25% of that. So they took out, and the pot was then at $900. They took that $900, split it between us 12 winners, and 12 of us walked away with $75. And so they often say that if you're a winner, you're going to probably receive back about 50% of what you put in, and that was completely accurate. I put in $50, I got $75 back. So woohoo! It kept me on track. It was fun. Although I maintained pretty much for most of the month, and then finally I dropped those last couple pounds this week, and actually today, it wasn't an after my run weigh-in, I was 145 dead on the moment that I got it from this morning. So just my little update on DietBet. They are fun to do, and they definitely get you focused and motivated. Happy Groundhog's Day. Today is Groundhog's Day, and Phil, our friend, the groundhog, did not see his shadow today. So you know what that means, right? Spring is near. Yay! That does not mean that there's 6 more weeks of winter. That means spring is around the corner. I love spring because it's my birthday at springtime. And also that means less layers. I have been so bundled up all winter long, and it's going to be wonderful to start stripping some of those layers and start getting into some nice springy dresses again. Some NSVs this week. So I have noticed that I'm just taking up less space. I'm taking up less space, whether it is at the gym. My memory is still holding on to where I typically would adjust my seat on the weights, and it's not an accurate place for where I need to be placed to do my workout. And so I am learning that I'm taking up less space, and I need to tighten up some of those seats so I'm closer to the weights. Also, at the spa last week, I noticed that in the spa massage chair, there was a lot more room. I just felt like the chair was huge on me, and there's just a lot more room for me to sit in and get comfy in and get my little massage and pedicure. So that is just a big NSV. As you continue to lose the weight, you just take up less space in the world. Have you ever had a craving of some of your mom's cooking? So recently, I don't know where this came from, because my mom is an amazing cook. I'm telling you, she can cook, and I did not spend a lot of time learning how to cook in the kitchen growing up. There were 4 of us, and 2 of us were more helping out in the kitchen cooking, and 2 of us were more doing the cleanup. And so I often did the cleanup. I love everything nice and tidy and clean. And my mom is just incredible though, and she makes some amazing recipes, amazing meals, and she's also an amazing baker, because when we lived in Germany, I was born and raised there. She is American, and she met my father in Germany, and she lived there for 18 years, and his side of the family, you can imagine, just German, authentic baking, cakes, and all kinds of treats. So she learned quite a bit over there. But nevertheless, my mom's an amazing cook, and I have occasionally cravings for some of her foods, and this was just a very random one. I don't even know where she picked up this recipe, but her meatloaf. I was craving her meatloaf so bad the other day. I gave her a call and I said, Mom, do you think you could make some of your meatloaf for me? I would love to have some of your meatloaf. I'm craving it. It's been years and years since I've had it. And she said, of course, yes, I'd be happy to do that. And it's great how you can just ask Mom for anything. And she said, now mind you, the coating that I put on the outside does have brown sugar in it. Is that going to be okay? And I said, oh gosh, I didn't realize that it had brown sugar in it. And I try to be as sugar-free as possible. And so I said, you know what? I think I can get you something that you can cook with. And I don't know if you guys have seen these, but these are Truvia makes actually brown sugar. And you know, Truvia is sweetened with stevia, and this is naturally sweet. And so these are expensive. I think you can probably find them cheaper at the store or somewhere, but I was in a pinch and I wasn't about to go out to the store, and so I bought a couple bags of these for like $12 each on Amazon. I gave my mom a bag. She cooked up her meatloaf. I had my family over for dinner last night and she brought that, and it was so good. Oh my gosh, so good. It's crazy how we have cravings for protein. You know, our body is telling us you need protein, your body needs protein. We are taught to eat our protein first because it's the most filling and it's also providing the most nutrition for our bodies. And so I crave it. I crave it all the time, and it was incredible. Another treat that I discovered recently, and this was through Ibotta. If you missed my What I Eat in a Day video, I did talk about Ibotta a little bit, and that was earlier this week that I posted that. And I did find in Ibotta some rebates for these Ollie protein bars, and these are so good. So this is an Ollie protein bar, and this is Zesty Lemon Cream. Delicious. If you like anything sweet and lemony, highly recommend. And they're like little cookies, so they're nice and hearty and thick. And this one is the salted caramel chocolate, another delicious option. And honestly, I stay away from protein bars a lot because they tend to be a trigger food for me. They tend to be like candy bars to me. Once I start, I don't want to stop, and I don't tend to eat them as a meal replacement because I want more than one. However, these are really great. Stats are 12 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, 180 calories, and the sugars, 3 grams of sugar. So great on stats. And the reason that I did get them is I do keep snacks in my car, and you never know when you're going to be stuck on the road for a long time and you may miss a meal, or you're going from place to place and you do need to replace or, you know, get a quick snack or meal in. And so I did buy several of these, and I have them in my car ready to go. Highly recommend. I am 1 week away from my upcoming marathon, my 26.2 mile marathon, my full marathon that I'm going to run in Phoenix, Arizona next week on February 9th. With that weekend trip coming up ahead, I just wanted to warn you that my YouTube upload schedule is going to be a little wonky. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. If I catch a free moment here or there, I might send out a quick update or video. Otherwise, it may be a little delayed and I won't have my weekend video up, and it will be after the marathon weekend in Phoenix. But just wanted to kind of let you know about that. I am getting so excited for this marathon that I have put so much time and effort and training into. And yesterday I did a little bit of reflection back on some of my previous marathons that I've run, and I have done a lot of half marathons. I should have counted. I don't exactly know where I'm at with that number. I'm probably at like 10 or 12 half marathons, and this will be my 6th full marathon. And each one of my full marathons I've run in a different state. So I started running when I was in my early 20s. My sister asked me to go for a run with her, and I was like, running? What's that? And my dad was always a runner, and he was a marathon runner, but it wasn't something that I ever applied to myself. I played volleyball in high school, and she was like, come on, let's go for a run. And so I followed her along, and we went out for a mile, and we came back for a mile, and I was exhilarated. I felt so great from that run in Orlando, Florida. And I was in my early 20s, and we got on this whole health kick at that time, and I was losing weight like crazy, and I thought, gosh, this is amazing. It's a feel good, it's great fitness, and it actually burns a lot of calories. And so I became addicted from early on. I ran my first half marathon when I was 26 years old in 2006, and that was out in California, and I got hooked ever since. And I ran my first full marathon, which was in Palm Beaches, in the Palm Beaches, Florida area in 2009. And since then, I've run the Las Vegas, Nevada marathon. That was an awesome marathon. It was crazy. We ran along the strip, and it was a nighttime marathon. So everything was lit up. It was insane. There were like 30,000 plus runners, and they had a run through wedding chapel that marathoners could get married at. And I just remember, a mile or two in, maybe it was like 3 miles, hearing at the wedding chapel, "You now are pronounced, husband and wife," and all this confetti and cheer. And they literally were race contestants, and they ran through, got married, and continued on in the race. It was insane. Elvis everywhere, everywhere. It was a really, really fun marathon. I also ran the Indianapolis, Indiana marathon. Love that. That was a girls' trip. So much fun. I also ran the Austin, Texas marathon. My sister lives there, and that was the worst marathon I've ever run in terms of hills. It is so hilly, and I was very proud to continue on and make it through that. But I do recall at one point just having projectile vomit coming out of me. Like, it was just like, bleh, and then continuing on. And it was intense. It was an intense marathon. I also ran the Kansas City Marathon. Kansas City is hilly. I don't recommend that as your first marathon. Come to Kansas City, come visit me, but don't make that your first marathon if you ever decide to run marathons. It's got a lot of great energy though, a lot of great energy, and you see a lot of the fountains along the way. But the full marathon it's intense as well. And now I'm going to Phoenix, Arizona for my sixth marathon. Super, super excited. This week's runs were a little off schedule due to the extreme cold weather that we've had, but I took some rest at the beginning. I got in a good 10-mile run on Tuesday. I rested on Wednesday when we had negative 25 temps. Then I ran on Thursday. We had negative 13. That was my coldest run ever. My coldest ever run. I had 5 layers on top, 4 layers on the bottom. I had my ski mask on. I had my ski goggles on. I had 2 pairs of gloves, 2 hotties in both gloves. I had my hiking wool socks on. I was covered. There was not anything exposed, but I made it. I ran 10 miles on Thursday. I ran 10 miles on Friday. It was much better temperature yesterday. And then I did do a run with my brother this morning, and that was my last kind of longish run. Last week was my really long run. And this week I'm tapering. So I'm beginning to taper off and prepare my legs for the marathon. As I reflected back yesterday on some of the marathons that I'd run, I got really emotional, and just looking just looking back at those photos just reminded me of all the time and dedication and discipline that I had put in. And I tell you, I am just a normal person. Like, I am just a normal person. And if I can do it, I know anyone can do it. And this surgery has been instrumental in helping me lose the weight. And I wanted to run so bad when I started off this journey, and I couldn't. If you look back at my intro video, you'll see I wanted to run so bad and I couldn't because I was so heavy and I had so much weight on my knees. And I started walking 2 weeks before my surgery, and then I continued walking for the next 6 weeks. I just walked. I walked every day for an hour, approximately, like 45 minutes to an hour. And then when I was, I had done 8 weeks of walking, I decided to do a little shuffle jog, just super slow. Like, it was more walking than anything. And then I just continued to increase week after week. And here I am, 7 months post-op, and I'm about to run a full marathon. I haven't run one for 3 years, and I am so excited. And I just want you to know that if you can believe in yourself and you put in the work, anything is possible.